Hello folks, Lord Reags with you. The reason I'm wearing the headgear of Vice-Admiral Lord Horatio Nelson is because it was on October 21, 1805 that he was killed in battle at the Battle of Trafalgar against the combined fleet of the Spanish and the French. Now the reason I've also made this short vignette is because every Anzac Day, I think we should also have a little moment to reflect on those who passed in earlier conflicts. Now, there was a Governor-General of Australia, Governor-General of New South Wales, and also a relative of mine, and that was Governor Fitzroy. He actually was part of the Battle of Trafalgar and also in later years the Battle of Waterloo, and he became the Governor of New South Wales and the first Governor-General of Australia. And he also was the one who granted a land licence, a lot of land in fact, to a certain Flemington racecourse, hence my interest in horse racing, which also dates back to Newmarket when my seventh great-grandfather loved horse racing so much he actually rescued the sport from demise, as he found it in, and he built a little two-storey apartment near the finishing post so he could enjoy the racing and other things which may or may not have involved members of the opposite sex. But I digress. Let's stick to Lord Horatio Nelson's Day, October 21. Mark it on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen of Australia. I would like you to just have a little thought. I don't expect a minute's silence or anything like that because he wasn't Australian, he was British. However, there were people involved in that Battle of Trafalgar who ended up coming out to Australia. So there would be descendants of people who were involved in the Battle of Trafalgar and also the Battle of Waterloo. So don't just think of Gallipoli and the Dardanelles and the Somme and the Western Front and all the other Australian-only conflicts that we know so well because so many Australians died in those 20th century battles. Let's also cast our minds back to the Boer War. Let's also cast our minds back to the Sudan and the death of General Gordon. My great-grandfather, Sergeant Major Charles Robert Lamont, he was originally from Scotland, from the Hebrides. He actually was a palace guard to Queen Victoria, and he served under General Gordon, admittedly only for a month or two. But there's an Australian involvement there because he migrated to Australia, lived at Double Bay, and insisted on enlisting for the Dardanelles. A year after all the death reports were coming back in the obituaries of the youngsters, he would teach how to fire the rifles at the Anzac rifle range. I think that was Paddington. Anyway, I've gotten a little bit off track, but this is why I'm wearing the hat. It's about paying homage to the fallen of yesteryear, but also previous battles to World War I. Okay, for Anzac Days, we need to just have a little moment or two. We got all day. We're playing two up in the afternoons, and we're drinking a lot of amber fluid. I'm sure we can squeeze in a little half a minute just as a passing thought to discuss it with our families about all the other people who died in other battles, in other conflicts around the world that indirectly involved Australia or would affect Australia ultimately via migration, as was the case in the Battle of Trafalgar and the Battle of Waterloo, where I would say about 10% of the soldiers involved in those conflicts sailed over to Australia 20 or 30 years later, and they created dynasties here. And that's also what's made Australia great, along with our Indigenous cousins who we love, and the LGBTQ communities, let's not forget them, and all the other migrants who came over from Europe in the 50s and helped us with the Snowy Mountain scheme. We are such a great melting pot, aren't we? I almost got through the video error-free, but I'm not going to do it all again because I can't be bothered. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This is Lord Reags signing off. Remember, October 21, 1805, the Battle of Trafalgar, victory against the Spanish and the French, but sadly also the day that Lord Horatio Nelson was killed in battle. Bye for now.